Hey, Luke, welcome back.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Good to be back.
What was it like for you and the team just to kind of get away, clear your head a little bit? I know for you it was not that long really, but and then to get back to the court today and kind of look at the mission ahead for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it was great to get back on the court. It's the break goes quick. I think it's much needed for everybody. But you start to miss it a day or two in. So we had great energy out there today. Got some good work in, and now like these games are. I mean, it's they're coming. So it's we got to make sure that mentally we take that break to recharge us, and then we're ready to go. And I thought we had a good first step of that in today's practice.
And when you have someone like Ty, who obviously sounds like he'll be reincorporated into the lineup coming off of his injury, but to have someone like him who in such a short amount of time meant so much for your team, to have him back to start off the right way, I mean, just how big of a lift can that be?
It'll be great for us, and I thought our team did a really nice job of fighting in those games without him. But we run a lot of offense, especially with that second unit. We run a lot of that offense through him. He's turned himself into a very good playmaker for us. A smart player, a guy who knocks down clutch shots. So. Getting him back will be great. And he's one of those guys that I always talk about, like part of being a leader and a good team and a good teammate is make your teammates better. And Tyrese does that. So we're excited to have him back. Unfortunately, he'll be on a minutes restriction, which is always a challenge because you want him on the court. But we'll take the minutes restriction over not having him.
James.
I can't hear you, James.
Got it. There we go. You got me?
I got you.
Sweet. Hey, where are we at with the rest of the guys health-wise? It looks like Hassan is not back with the team yet, but what's the rest of the guys look like at this point?
Yeah, he's still health and safety protocols. Everyone else is pretty much good to go. I mean, we got our two other rookies back with us now. Robert has he did not practice today. He's got some hamstring going on, but everyone else that we had was available in practice for today, other than Hassan.
And then with the season being so condensed like this, and the trade deadline just 2 weeks away, like how do you keep your team focused, because this could really be a really wild, strange couple of weeks?
Yeah, the message, James, is always the same. Like, look, we control what we can, and every year there's going to be trade rumors. Most of the time, none of that comes true. So, let's enjoy this time together. Let's keep working. To me, we anticipate that nothing happens. This is our group, and we keep moving forward. And it's easier said than done, especially for players when you're talking about the potential of moving cities and moving homes and everything else. But none of that helps. So, I'll address it as we continue to get close to it. There'll continue to be rumors no matter what we say or do. And as a group, we just have to, do our best to focus on our group and what kind of basketball we're trying to play.
Hey, Luke, how you doing?
Good, Jason. You?
I'm doing all right. Just wondering, with the break, do you when you kind of go back and review how things went in the first half, do you take the time to say, okay, we want to change some things philosophically, or just with the way the schedule is, it's more about working on the things you already have in and trying to just tighten those things up?
Yeah, it's a great question, Jason. And this break, with where we're at and the amount of games that are coming, I spent a lot of time reflecting on this first half and things that we're doing well and things, where do we want to make improvements and what do we want our goals to be coming out of these last 36 games. And what I feel is best for our team is really the idea of getting better at what we do. We don't need to put in a bunch of new stuff. We don't need to. We need to simplify and get better at what we do, and really just continue to beat that home and continue to rep that out and really embrace that, because there's just one, where that's kind of still where we're at as a group, and two, there's just not going to be enough time to implement a lot of stuff as we're going, with the amount of games that are going to be thrown at us.
And just the way you guys finished it out, I think, was it going 2-2 in the last four? Could have, almost had the Charlotte game. Was that a good way for you, a good note overall to come back to, given how those previous 9 had gone? And do you think that will help the group as they start out tomorrow?
Yeah, I think it helped for sure. Getting a couple wins going into the break, because I feel like our guys came back today in a really good mental space. Like there was a lot of joy in the gym. There was a lot of energy in the gym, and guys seem excited about getting back together and getting back to competing. So I'm excited to especially as the group gets a little bit healthier here, see how we do in the second half.
Coach, good to see you again. Hope you had a chance to enjoy a few days at least.
Thanks, Scott.
As you talk to your team and focus in on the second half, is it still too early? Do you game plan like how many wins it might take to get into the possible play and anything like that with your team? I know Tyrese talked about playoffs still being the ultimate goal, or is it just too early in the season still to focus on something like that?
Yeah, well, I don't talk to the team about that right now. I spend a lot of time talking and focusing on the things that will ultimately get us there. But I don't think putting a number on it does us much good when we're 36 games out of it still. To me, putting numbers on free throw percentage, on turnovers, points off turnovers, putting numbers on our individual defense, like things that we can actually go affect right now, are things where we try to put our focus on, knowing that if we start doing all these things better, then the ultimate goal of making the playoffs is how we get there. But not a lot of time on something that far out.
Yeah. And then finally, Coach, just in terms of any reflections you've had in terms of lineup combinations or anything else to look for immediately? I know you're still trying to get back to health, and with Tyrese's situation as it is.
Yeah, we've again going through it all this during the break. There's been some good groups that have played together, grouping wise, that we're looking to get back to. But as of right now and where we're at, we're gonna, we'll come out of the break and we'll have the same starters that we had beforehand.
Jason Anderson. Hi, Luke. Nice to see you, sir.
Jason.
How do you? It's a little complicated to kind of grade out this first half for you guys. You're in a development situation in some spots, and you really are getting a lot out of several guys that you rely on, but yet the wins aren't, necessarily coming. So how do you grade it out? What do you, how do you score the first half of this season?
Yeah, you described it pretty well there, Jason, because what I'm looking at as a coach is, are we getting better individually and as a team? And I tell you the answer to that is yes, we are. And, unfortunately, that has not led to the amount of wins that everyone would like to have. But the team is getting better. Players, young players are getting better. Even guys like Harrison, who is further along in his career, is having a great year for us. So as far as all that stuff is concerned, like as long as all that keeps getting better, eventually the wins will start happening. But we would, we're competitors, and we come out there and we lace them up. We want to win as much as possible, just like every other team out there. So it's a tricky one, but I am very pleased with the progress we're making as a group.
Are there two or three things you can point to that were, that you were most happy to see in terms of growth from different guys or steps they're taking?
Yeah, and I could go down the line, but if you're talking about De'Aaron, I think De'Aaron took a huge step during that stretch we had. And I've always said that one of the hardest things for NBA players and teams is the consistency to do it every single night. And he's felt it for a stretch now of what type of player he's going to become, in my opinion. And that was really exciting to see. And now it's about getting him back there and doing everything we can to make that a constant level of play. I think when you look at Tyrese to be somebody who got drafted a couple weeks before the season and now to look at him and say, look, this guy, he understands teams are trying to go under, they're trying to send him left, which stalled him out earlier. And now we're able to continue to get what we want, even as teams change their scouting reports on him. I think is very exciting. I think having Marvin for as long as we have so far this season, him continuing to improve as a three-point shooter. Now we got to get those free throw numbers way up. We got to get some of the defensive numbers way up. But the way he's out there on the court, you can see it starting to slowly click for him on some of those things. So you look at the different pieces and they're doing different things really nicely. And now we just have to, as a group, constantly keep working at making it an every night thing.
Luke, I just wanted to ask you, when you guys take the court tomorrow, it's going to be the 1 year mark since the shutdown, and you guys are kind of like the living embodiment, the video of that, seeing, everything shut down was the last game. I know we've asked you about it before, but because it's the anniversary, just what you recall from that night, your observations, and obviously just kind of the steps that society and the world has kind of made here a year later.
Yeah, that was a wild night. You don't think you're ever gonna live through something like that, and to think now that it's been a full year, and there's been so many, there's been shutdowns and the amount of deaths that we've had in the world, and your heart bleeds. It's been a really tough year for a lot of people within the NBA family, people you're close to, and you try to be as compassionate and understanding as possible. And then you also hope that we understand that even with vaccines coming now, like we stay strong and realize this thing is still out there. So it does feel like we're finally getting closer, which is exciting. But we still have to be very smart and very responsible to ourselves and to each other, and continue to stay together and support each other, because it's been a really, really challenging year for everybody.
Hey, Coach. Well, you only got a few hours to prepare for tomorrow night's game. So you don't mind me asking this, but what do you know about the Houston Rockets at this point? They still got a couple pieces. John Wall is still on the team, and how important is it to play well and get a victory tomorrow night and go to one center?
Well, it'd be nice. I mean, we want to come out. We talked about it today. We're all back in town now. We got a good hard day's work behind us. Let's mentally lock into the fact that these games are starting, and it'll be nice to get off to a good start. But I know that Houston team has struggled, but like you said, Tony, they got some good players, like really good players on that team. So today was all about us at practice as far as what we worked on, what the messaging was, defense and offense. And then tomorrow when we get to the arena, we'll present our Houston scout, and it's time to lock in and go out, have fun, and compete, and try to get off to a good start.
Thank you.
Last one, Jason Anderson.
Hey, Luke, to follow up on Sean's question about March 11th, did it, looking back on that night, does it feel like the NBA in some ways really led the way in the nation or even the world's response to this?
Well, I think the NBA has done an amazing job. I didn't see how playing a season would even be possible. The bubble that we've put on is really been. They show why it's such a powerful league, and the leadership that's there, and how they've handled the whole thing. And I think you have to give the players a lot of credit too. Because it's there's been a lot of sacrifice, being away from families, making sure that they're watching each other's backs, and still providing some sort of normalcy and entertainment to the world. To me it mentally is a very healthy thing. And between the players and the leadership of the actual NBA, I've been very proud and pleased to be part of it.